Alright, this video I wanted to talk about the difference between female and male attractiveness, because I feel like it's a common misconception that if you're attractive, you're treated the same across all boards, when in reality, gender plays a big part on the differentiation between both. Now, in order to understand the difference between both, you need to understand the perks of both. So let's start with the male attractive scenario. If you're an attractive man, you get away with majority of stuff. You get to have more leverage in situations, and in a sense, you aren't marked as a negative trait. A lot of positive traits are associated with you. And in worst case scenario, if something bad were to happen where you were ridiculed or put in a position to be blamed for something, the odds of you being blamed for that very thing, if you're attractive, astronomically end up being lower than if you weren't, even if you are the guilty party. And when it comes to being an attractive woman, it's honestly very different. Majority of things you end up obtaining for free, just because of who you are and what you look like. When it comes to like buying things, that's often bought for you. I'm talking elite level of attractiveness, by the way. It's bought for you overall, whether that be dinners, food, clothing. Your like commodities and the status of what you are is all perceived off your simple appearance. So like if you are big or like you meet somebody who is high status, your attractiveness will be your status, whereas for a man it has to still be a status of doing something productive in the world. It doesn't just come from their looks. So in actuality, the main difference between both is being an attractive man is defensive, like it's a defense tactic, and being an attractive woman is an offense tactic. It's like insurance to be an attractive man, but to be an attractive woman, the world is pretty much yours. And I say that in a sense that sex is not the only objective for the party, because if sex is the only objective for the party, then like I said in the last video, as a man, you did it, you won. But if you want status, money, popularity, overall just success, you have to sacrifice more. There's more on the table that you need to bring than just your looks. But as a woman, that's all you really need, in a sense. You can actually be quite an evil person if you wanted to, and people will still put up with you. People will still tolerate and praise you simply because of the aspect of how your facial proportions are. As a guy, like I said, you have to be a little bit more mindful and blend in a little bit more still, even if you are attractive. And like, even for attractive men who are cocky, it comes off as bad. But for attractive women who are cocky, it comes off as like a good thing. And I find that interesting, just simply because of the fact that both are they're linked, because it's the same consequence for both, but the actual outcome for both is so different. Like, theoretically, I'm a guy, and if I was an attractive guy, right, and I wanted to be, if I wanted to live life free, if I just wanted to find somebody to pay for everything for me and just not work and just stay home all day and just do whatever I wanted, have infinite money, go to the nicest restaurants, wear designer clothes, have an expensive car, it would be possible, because nothing is impossible. It would be very improbable because of the fact that I'm an attractive man as opposed to an attractive woman. The fact that women gatekeep sex more than men shows that women have the upper hand when it comes to physical attraction. So therefore, it would be possible for me to find a woman who would take care of me in that way, or even let's just say a man who would take care of me in that way, but the odds of it being likely are very low. Now, if you have an attractive woman, like for example, let's just say Corinna Kopf, let's just use her as an example. If you have a woman who looks like that, who wants those same things simply for the way they look, and there you go, I look good, look at me, take care of me, do this for me, the odds of that actually happening, the odds of that woman finding a man, or let's just say, like I said earlier, another woman, to take care of them in that way, are way higher than if I, as a man, were to try to do it. Simply because of the fact that women gatekeep sex more than men. Even attractive men want sex from the other party. And so, it's just an interesting metric system because of the fact that, like I said, they are linked, and yet the outcomes are so opposite to one another. If you are an attractive woman, you can control the world. You can succeed simply for having the face and body you do. Like, if everything is the way it needs to be. And it's just weird because as a man, you would think it would be the same way. And I feel like a lot of men who are attractive fall victim to that. There are men who don't check themselves, who think and see these Instagram women making money and all this off their looks, and they go, I can do that too. I'm attractive as a guy. And in reality, it's just not the same. When it comes to attracting women, yes, that you're abundant. But when it comes to money, status, overall success, and just financial freedom, you need to be able to bring something else to the table, whether that be intellectual, like status, whether that be drive, whether that be ambition, whether that be problem solving, deductive reasoning. You have to have another outlier. Actually, you have to have about 2 or 3 other outliers. Because when a man sees an attractive woman, the first thing he's thinking is, I want to have sex with that girl. Like, that's all he imagines. When an attractive woman sees a man, she thinks a lot more open-minded than that. She thinks about the kind of person he could be, the positive traits associated with him, how he could lead her. That's how women think. They don't just go, I want to have sex with that guy. It's deeper for them because it's not rational, it's emotional. And so, like I said, if a man sees an attractive woman, he goes, I want to have sex with her. When a woman sees an attractive man, she goes, I'm going to give him the opportunity to have sex with me. If he's funny, charismatic, charming, quick-witted. See, there are more outliers to being an attractive man. There are more things that you still have to have going for you other than just your face or physique. As an attractive woman, they don't really, they desire sex, but men desire it more, in my opinion, so therefore they'll have to work way less hard, because if an attractive woman goes up to 10 men and offers to sleep with them, 10 out of 10 of those men are going to sleep with them. But if an attractive man goes up to 10 women and asks the same thing, probably like 7 out of 10 of those women will sleep with that man. See, the metric is just off because of the fact that it's gatekept sexually more by women. And like I said, I don't want attractive men I've seen this. Attractive men fall victim to this mindset. They think the world is mine. Since I'm attractive, I can go into the world and take what's mine and overall just be this monumental figure because of my looks. And it's so funny because they go into this world with that same mindset that these women do, and they're immediately smacked down. They're immediately humbled for that ego that they've had, and they're introduced to reality where, as an attractive man, you may have leverages over others, but the world is just going to be yours based off your look. That's a woman's way of thinking. And it's ironically, it's only men only think like this. Attractive men who think like this are usually men who see or are addicted to some sort of like OnlyFans women or Instagram models, because they see how they do it and they go, if they can do it, I'm the opposite gender, but that changes nothing, so I can do it too. And that's just not the case. It is completely different from both sides. They literally did a study that shows an attractive woman is more likely to forget the face of or a woman in general is more likely to forget the face of an attractive man than an attractive man is to forget the face of a woman he finds attractive. Because of the fact that women are complimented way more than men are complimented. Even when it comes to being an attractive guy, because you gotta think about it like this. Men look at women and they want to let them know that they see them as a viable partner. Women have more of an ego in that area. So when a woman sees a man that she sees as a viable partner, or even a man she thinks looks better than her, for a man seeing a woman who looks better than him is a positive. For a woman seeing a man who looks better than her is a fear. It's actually something scary because it tips that metric system. It tips that attractiveness level. Women want to be in power, and the only way the majority of women know how to be in power is through their beauty. So if they have a man who challenges that, it's terrifying. Whereas the opposing end, if a man has a woman who's way more beautiful than him, he sees it as like, I won the lottery. And so with that being in place, women will test the men who they want to be with, and men will welcome the women they want to be with open arms. It's more of a game for women, so therefore you have to be more on point, rather than a guy just going, hey, I want to sleep with you, I think you're hot. It's simply the way biologically male and female brains are designed. It's just a lot more of a mind game, so you can't make the same moves as an attractive man that an attractive woman will make, because they just won't work for you, and at the same time, it could be worse than that. It may humble you and smack you down to the point where you're viewed as weird by all around you because you thought it would work. So, in conclusion, Being an attractive man and being an attractive woman are two different walks of life. You may think just because you've won the genetic lottery as a man that you should have the same rights as a woman who's won the genetic lottery, but you won't, and you never will. It's just a fallacy. It will never be that way, simply because of the power that women have when it comes to sexual relations.